I just want to start off by introducing myself. Hi, Connor Simonson. Nice to meet you. Connor Simonson. Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Sure.
Nice to meet you. Hi, my name is Connor Simonson. I am a senior at Wando High School, and I am the founder of Deep Fried Dyes. I started playing lacrosse in 4th grade, and immediately I noticed the difference that can be made in your performance based upon the way that your stick is strung. I understand most of you probably don't know what that means, so I'll explain it real quick. Basically, stringing is just the way that you attach the mesh to the lacrosse head, and it can actually make a much bigger difference than most people realize. So the problem is with a poorly strung head, as a new player, you may not understand, and you may get your first stick and you go to throw it and the ball goes straight in the air, or the ball goes straight into the ground. Or you go and you try to dodge and the ball just comes out of your stick every time you try to run. It can be discouraging not only for a new player, but for an advanced player as well, which just shows how important it is that your stick is strung to complement your play on the field. In fact, 100% of people surveyed have paid for stringing before, for someone to string their lacrosse stick. It is extremely common. Every player has to have their head strung, and a lot of people don't know how to do it well. And that is where we step in. We provide high-performance stringing, as well as unique and custom stringing. All that means is every player has a specific preference on the way that they want their stick, or we call it the pocket, the way their pocket to be strung. If you are a goaltender, your stick straight up is different than all the other sticks. If you're a defenseman, you want to be strung differently, an offensive guy strung differently. So it's very important. At the same time, we also dye lacrosse heads, like that cool one up there. There is no performance aspect to that. That is literally just to look cool. And that is not the bulk of our business. The bulk of our business is stringing. The average person will come up to us and ask us to string their head, but we dye heads as well. Lacrosse is also the fastest growing sport in the United States. It has increased over 16,000 from male high school players from 2009 to 2014. Our mission at Deep Fried Dyes is to provide lacrosse players with professional string and dye jobs and to have every head serviced to improve performance and enhance the customer's style on the field. At the same time, we really want to grow the game. That's just a big part of lacrosse culture in general, is to continue to grow the sport. And one example of growth is if you can see me right there. That was 6th grade, me learning how to play from the high schoolers. So a part of lacrosse is giving back to your community, giving back to the culture, and just really trying to grow lacrosse, and that's what we're trying to do as a company as well. The way our service process works is I will meet up with the customer wherever is convenient to them, whether that be their house, the lacrosse field, Walmart, parking lot, I don't care. I come to you, I want to make your life easier. Once I meet with the customer, they will give me their lacrosse head, and they will tell me what they want out of the stringing, whether they want, this doesn't make sense, a lot of whip or a deep pocket. It's really custom and personal to the player. At the same time, they may provide me with the mesh and the stringing supplies. That is what the average player will do. But at the same time, if they don't have that and they just give me the head only, I can go and I will pick up that mesh and I will pick up the stringing supplies that they want for them for a 25% upcharge. So we offer that service as well. Also, if they would like me to dye their stick, I can dye their stick in a pattern they want to. We can do stripes, whatever you want. And also, everything is paid for up front in order for me to get my supplies and in order for me to buy the dye if I'm going to dye your head. Our business model, 1 unit of sale is just one person paying for us to string a head. Like I said before, we dye heads, but the average person just wants a stringing. My only variable expense is going to be the gas to get there to meet up with the customer, which leaves me with a contribution margin of $14.26 per unit. My break even is 4 units a month, and that is in order to pay for my cell phone bill and the $30 salary that I give myself once a month. I only pay myself $30 because I'm very invested in this business, and I care more about the business and growing the business than me going out to a movie on a Friday night. We are a part of the lacrosse industry, which is a $105 million industry. And basically, my target consumer is just anybody who plays lacrosse. It's all ages. I mean, I got my first stick when I was like 6 years old, and I know guys who are 60 years old that are still trying to play lacrosse. And we mostly cater to the Charleston County area. Right now we're trying to keep it small, keep it local, to give me the advantage against my competitors. Charleston County has over 372,000 people. Of that population, about 1,000 people play lacrosse, and 80% of those surveyed said that they were willing to pay for my service, which leaves me with an 800-person market size. Marketing and sales, just like every other kid my age, I'm going straight to Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. That is the easiest way for me to show everybody out there what deep fried dyes can do for them. Oh, look at this cool stick, look at that cool stick. It's a great way to get my name out there and to really get business. At the same time, I want to be up at the Mount Pleasant Rec Department as much as I can with flyers and stuff like that. That's where most of the little kids play lacrosse. If I get my name in front of them with my cool logo, they might like it. Also, local lacrosse events, I really want to get a tent up there, just get my name out even more. For my competition, the two competition companies that I looked at was Stylin' Strings and Throna Strings, both of which are located, one in Pennsylvania and one in New York. So in order to use their service, you have to ship your head there to them. That costs shipping, and that's going to take probably 2 to 3 weeks just to get your stick, while I will come and pick it up for you. We offer free repairs to anybody. If I string your stick and let's say this string right here breaks, I'll fix it for free, no charge or anything like that. They don't do that. Also, I meet with you personally, face-to-face, eye-to-eye. I know what you're going to want from the stick. I'm going to ask you specific questions. They basically just give you a drop-down menu and say, you want this, I want that. It's not really custom. It's just whatever they want to give you. My qualifications, I've been playing lacrosse since 4th grade. And throughout that time, I have played every position. I personally play goalie, and this is my stick. It's bigger than the average stick, but I can string goalie sticks, defensive stick, offensive sticks, basically whatever you want me to string. At the same time, I'm also currently in an entrepreneurship class, and I have been working customer service since my junior year. It also helps that I was a lacrosse referee from 8th grade all the way through, no, not 8th. Yeah, 8th grade all the way through sophomore year. I've just been around lacrosse my whole life, and it's my passion, 110%. This is what I live. This is what I live for. My sales projection, this is taking into account the fact that I will be working next year with a full-time student schedule in college, as well as a full-time lacrosse schedule. I'm expecting most of my services, or most of my units, to be right before lacrosse season, during lacrosse season, which is during spring, and then the rest of the time I will be catering to the summer and the fall club teams, which still gets me around 5 units a month. My startup funds is just a cell phone bill. My return on investment is very favorable with $4.01. My return on sales is 46 cents. My future plans is basically to turn deep fried dyes into the face of Southeastern lacrosse, create apparel and a bunch of different things like that. Just turn it more into a brand than just a stringing service. And that is deep fried dyes.
So I love the attention to customer service. I think the one-on-one thing is great to a point. I think it's really difficult to scale it. So you're talking about driving out, picking someone up, meeting them, having the conversations, going back, and then meeting them, I assume, back at some undisclosed location to fix it. Have you looked at approaching teams and doing some thematic thing that you can do more than the one-by-one kind of work that you're doing now?
One of the things that I have considered is to look at, which I didn't point out, Mount Pleasant Rec Department has multiple different teams. I've thought about not only just meeting with the teams and saying, hey, give me $40 and let's have a meeting with all the kids on your team and I'll just teach them how to string. That's one thing. While that's taking business away from me, that's growing the game even more, helping lacrosse get bigger. That's one thing I've looked at. Also, I've considered team sales. Let's say you and your buddies get me 10 heads, 10 sticks to string. That's in bulk. That's doing me a favor. I'll charge it for a reduced price, something like that. I've definitely considered team sales as well.
Maybe, Vincent, how much does it cost to do
Oh, it's just one head. Or one head would be $15. That is just one of the smaller normal heads. This, a goalie head, I would charge $25 because it takes more.
And how long does it usually take you to do?
One of the smaller heads would probably take me about 20 to 25 minutes.
What's the pricing on the other customized companies you listed in your competitor analysis?
Depending on the kind of stringing you get, for their goalie sticks, they charge about $45. And then for the offensive and defensive sticks, they're going to charge about $25.
And if they get a non-customized strung lacrosse stick, if they just go to a store and buy a lacrosse stick, how much is that?
If you buy a factory strung stick,
Yeah.
all they're going to factor in is going to be the mesh. That is when you buy, you can buy a lacrosse head without anything in it, or you can buy one that already has the factory strung stick, the mesh in there, and all they really factor in is the mesh, which would probably be an extra $6 or so. But with that stringing, it's poor because it's just mass produced, and it's really aimed towards the new player just so that they can kind of throw and catch with it. It's not really a performance strung.
Yeah, my concern is also with the repair service. I very much appreciate the customer service aspect of it, but that can very quickly get out of hand. It can be an energy drain and a time suck and a money drain.
That makes sense.
Have you considered selling warranties instead as another revenue generator to this? That way it doesn't get out of hand because there's no boundaries right now with it. So people could call you for anything and then you're liable. Where's your cutoff between what you'll serve and what you won't serve?
I have not thought of that. One thing I have thought of that I think I'm going to incorporate in is how I have the 2-week kind of fixing thing. Like, oh, I don't like the way it's strung. You have to say that within 2 weeks. I'm thinking of doing the repairs within 2 weeks as well, because if they break something within 2 weeks, I probably did something wrong. These things are pretty hefty, so.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I love the concept. I actually did something pretty similar back when I was in high school with tennis rackets. I was like a competitive tennis player, and I had strung rackets, and I also did custom paint jobs. So I was sand down the racket and style it.
That's
One
like
thing
the exact
I found
same.
was pretty helpful was I sponsored my high school tennis team.
Oh,
So
cool.
I bought us uniforms and had patches on it, and we all had these swagged out tennis rackets. And then we'd go play other schools, and they'd be like, "Oh, where'd you get that?" And it was building your business that way. So I mean, you already had your connection built at Wando. Some suggestion would be if you guys did something like that, you got their jerseys, got a patch on it, and then you build brand awareness that way locally, and then you just go on out from there on.
Another thing, thank you. Another thing that I've considered, the Mount Pleasant Rec Department teams can have sponsors, and I really hope to sponsor a Mount Pleasant Rec Department team. First things first, we'd have the coolest jerseys, hands down. And so I think that's definitely a good idea.
Great. Thank you, Connor.
Thank you.